36 years ago, on the 8th of the 8th, 1988, at 8 minutes past 8, Catherine and I crossed the start line of the two-handed around Australia yacht race. We were sailing on John West, which was a 40-foot podcat, had two tiny bunks and a little sit-down galley that you swung around and basically looked at the nav table on the other side, and that was it. So fast forward 36 years, we've had lots of adventures at sea. I'm still here, Catherine's still here, and we're loving the sailing. I'm getting our boat back home to Cairns so that we can enjoy it even further. I just left Townsville today, not in any hurry to get home, but we'll get there slowly over the next few days. Magnetic Island. So we're approaching Great Palm Island, north of Townsville. Got a beautiful sou'easter, 15 to 18 knots, running 3/4 main, and the Screecher doing 8.5, 9 knots, moving along nicely. Beautiful sailing day. Life takes lots of turns and gives everyone lots of challenges. And the bottom line is, at the end of it all, we're all dead in 3 or 4 generations' time. There's not going to be much left of the memory of what we did and what we achieved. But what we do now is important, and I'm making the most of every day. I think that's all the best of us can do. Not waste time. Not waste time being entertained by other people. Entertain ourselves. Get out there and do. Have fun, challenge. Don't always succeed. Sometimes you go belly up, capsize, get wet, cut yourself up, break bones. But a lot of the time, the fun is just in the doing, and not necessarily the achieving. It's in the doing. Island, and we're sailing on nicely, doing 11.5, 12 knots. Got a bit of a reef in the main, just because I'm sailing by myself, and running the Screecher, 2 sail reaching. Beautiful sailing. So we stopped at Orpheus Island last night, and a little bit of a rolly anchorage on mooring. It was an interesting exercise. I picked up a mooring by myself. I had 9 goes at getting at it, and couldn't actually get from the back of the front of the boat, have the boat stopped enough to be able to haul up the line and connect it. It just kept drifting off because the wind was blowing about 15 knots. So I put both centerboards down and approached from a fair distance behind, and just timed the drift of the boat so that it would stop just past the buoy in the middle, and then hopefully drift back fairly straight. By the time I got forward, the buoy was just directly below the bow. Hauled it up, connected it on, came back, reversed, we were on. So definitely need to use the centerboards just to maintain the directional drift so the boat doesn't drift sideways as quickly. Made a big difference. Anyway, the anchorage was good, and now the plan is to head north towards Dunk. We now officially enter the wet tropics, and by the looks of Hinchinbrook Island, it's the wet tropics coming up. Bit wild and grey today. This is Hinchinbrook Island, and we're just navigating through the passage towards Gould Island. So I left Dunk Island at 7 o'clock this morning, had a little bit of a sleep in. Getting a little bit closer to Cairns now. I could probably make it if I went into dark, but I'll go as far as the Russells or Fitzroy and then arrive at a good time tomorrow morning. It's 2 sail reaching. I've got the full main and the jib up. And got a few squalls in the background, so I'm keeping a little bit of an eye on them. And looks pretty good out to sea at the moment, but everything changes every half hour. Change your mind. I'm not going to put a reef in at the moment. I've decided to actually go for speed. It's rubbish sailing dead downwind, so I'm heading outside the Kent group, and then I'll put a jibe in and then jibe in towards the shore and zigzag my way downwind, which will give me a better velocity made good, or VMG downwind. I'm a sailor, not a drifter. I'm helming because I've been fairly close to the seaward side of the Kent group. There's a series of rocks sitting in here that are not exposed all the time. So just keeping an eye on them. If something goes wrong, I need to be able to do something quick. This is wing on wing, so the jib's out onto the port side and the main's on the starboard side. It's a pretty unsettled looking weather pattern. It's sitting behind me at the moment, so looks like a bit of a blow coming up over there. So when I get around the next set of islands, I think I'll stick that reef in. Yeah, I will. I'm still running full main and jib and jibing downwind. The weather's improved a little bit as I've gone north. Most of the squally weather's gone inshore. Looking pretty sunny out there at the moment behind us, so I'm just keeping an eye on the clouds as they move across. And beautiful sailing, downwind doing 9.5 knots, full main, headsail, nice rolling sea, so we're surfing a little bit occasionally. It's just a beautiful day. Well, second last day of my solo sail north, and I tried to anchor at Fitzroy Island, but the southerly is wrapping round into the bay and just knocking it all over the place, and too many boats, too many moorings, so I figured I'd go for somewhere a little bit calmer. So I'm sailing across into Turtle Bay. It's one of the more hidden spots on the mainland that you can anchor behind in the southerly. So I'll see what that's like when I get there. Last morning of the trip, had a terrible problem anchoring last night. I tried to get into Fitzroy Island, but the southerly was bringing a big swell into it, and it was really crowded with moorings. So I moved on to Turtle Bay. Turtle Bay had surf in it, and it was no good, so I went round the back of Cape Grafton. Cape Grafton had a fetch for the southerly, which about 30 knot bullets, and it was just terrible. So I kept going and came round False Cape and have anchored in Sunny Corner. It gets a little bit of a swell in it here, but I was out of the wind, out of the rough stuff, and had a good night's sleep. So I've only got 12-13 miles to go to Trinity Park and Cairns. That's it in the background, so I'm just going to up anchor and off we go home. Looking forward to getting there. North Queensland's not always perfect, one day beautiful the next. It's squally and raining, and I can't even see the headland at Yorkeys Knob where I'm heading into Trinity Park where my mooring is. Catherine should be there to meet me, hopefully catch some line, so I don't have to do it by myself, but we'll see how we go. But yeah, very little visibility. You can see Cairns is completely shrouded in rain. That's okay, making the most of it. For those that have followed the sail from Brisbane to Cairns, thanks for following, and the comments and the feedback and that I had along the way was fun. Look, it was all novelty value for me, but I enjoyed it. Cheers. Well, the trip's over. Solo Brisbane to Cairns. Pretty happy to have made it, and thank you for following me and sending me notes, everyone, and appreciate it. Have a good day. Cheers.